Hello, listeners. This is Kaushal, social media strategist at Web Marketing Academy.
Hi, listeners. This is Deepu, alumni of Web Marketing Academy and co-founder of website collegestout.com.
Hello, everybody. This is Aditya, social media strategist of Web Marketing Academy.
The first topic we have for you today is the offline internet market. You might think this is an oxymoron because there are about 930 million mobile users in India, but we have one of the world's largest offline internet market. So what exactly is offline internet? It's basically accessing internet service without using a live connection. So the concept is basically you download certain data and you can view it later for a later time.
Yes, Kaushal, as you rightly said, last year YouTube have brought in this feature in which you can download the video and keep it and preview it at the latest stage. Ever since this particular feature was activated, the demand for it have gone up quite a lot, and after a certain study it's been analyzed that people who are downloading it, all these video content, when they got free access to internet, basically in offices and other hotspots, where they just come in and download their favorite videos and later on they view it at the latest stage. So considering that we are a growing economy and our internet penetration is poised to grow by 600 million, but still there are a lot of places in India where we yet have to penetrate. It's quite surprising, as you rightly said, 930 million mobile subscribers covering entire India, but still the importance of internet is yet to be captured to this audience. One of the main obstacles I personally believe is the local content. As we have said in the beginning of this podcast, India does have 70 different ethnic languages. So the first objection or obstacle which I face when I go to the internet is that the language, the medium in which it is being represented. So when the content is not there in the regional space and people might not even turn up in looking into it. This might not be the case in terms of mobile phone, where in which people actually converse in local language, as well as in cable TV. There's another big penetration when which we are getting good responses from digital services, where like the TV penetration is higher in our country. It's because the content what they are telecasting, it's in the local language. So that has more takers compared to internet. But I personally feel that soon this particular perception of internet will change, considering that there are many entrepreneurs coming up in India with content in ethnic language, which can change the way we use internet in India.
Yeah, that's right. According to the Economic Times, the ozone networks have set up about 6,500 hotspots across the country, where about 20% of which are public, and places like McDonald's and KFC outlets are now being targeted, by the government, and especially airports at Mumbai, Delhi are using a lot of hotspots, and they have done a survey and they predict that could move on to about 1 million hotspots by 2020, which is great news for people in India, but hopefully this connectivity spreads to
Yes, Kaushal, it's a great move by Ozone Group, but rather than starting with airports and putting hotspots in McDonald's, I would rather prefer them to go to the interior part of India, especially villages where there's no last mile connectivity. Considering that the government is planning to deploy tablets to students, basically they know that they are running short of faculties to teach them, and they're planning to get digital content, and they want to give off these tablets to all the students across India so that they can learn all by themselves. So one strategy which I feel, which I can think of right now is that maybe imagine in each village there might be a place where they can go down and just a hotspot over there, so that students can just download the content for the day and later they can study it whenever they want it. So it's kind of a practice which can be brought out. It can be started on a small scale and maybe later spread across pan India. So that would have been much more better rather than putting hotspot first in airports or the urban spaces. Because I personally feel that urban areas, you need not push for it, because the awareness, the need for it, it's already been known by the consumers. So that is not my target. My target is to tap the untapped market, right? So I personally feel the strategy should have been flipped, and they should have gone rural first rather than coming into urban areas. So that's my viewpoint about this particular thing. But moving forward, I don't think so. This concept of offline internet market needs to be existing moving on, because we should not be cultivating offline. It should be always online. Internet is going to be a next, I would say it might be like a next human right, where it's a need of the people to get it. So it's a flow of information actually. So just like the radio, which happened a long time back, that's the kind of penetration which we need to bring it in over here. Just like a radio which gives message across the country by just tuning in. So I'm thinking if we can advance, if there's an improvement in technology like this, where internet can be spread across like a radio medium or something, it'll be of a bigger impact, considering that the content also can be sent out. And I personally feel that even the podcast, what we are doing today, like imagine podcasts being sent out in regional languages, so that people can understand, they update their knowledge. That can be another medium, considering that they already have a phone in their hand. It's just that the content needs to be there.
So talking about transmitting data through internet, just like every day, like an FM radio. A few weeks back, I happened to come across a device on Indiegogo, which is a crowd-funded website. So it's a new device called as Lantern. It says it has free data from space forever. So it had a catchy title, so I wanted to know what exactly it is. So I clicked on it and I started looking at it. And this is where I came across a term called as the outer net. So the internet, so there's like outer net. So what they say is that basically OuterNet is a project that is raising funds to expand globally in order to reach the third world countries or populations lacking basic access to the internet. So if you go to their website, outernet.com, you'll get a page wherein they tell you how to build a receiver device. Mm-hmm. It's a basic thing that anyone can actually build at their home and they can use it. So basically their satellite transmits data like Wikipedia pages, like education textbooks, the college applications, whatever you want, basically, video and books, news, audio, images, software, any file type. So basically this receiver downloads all that and keeps it, so you can access it through Wi-Fi anytime you want, and it's just like offline internet.
Thanks Aditya for bringing in that update on this. It's quite shocking that some developments are happening in this particular field. Yes, that's it from this topic. Moving on, we are going to discuss about the product and service delivery market in India. It is one of the booming markets in India, and we are going to discuss about a couple of startups who are doing, how they are performing in Indian market.
The first company we are going to discuss about is Deliver.in, which basically connects offline retailers in the neighborhood with other customers belonging in the vicinity or in the same neighborhood. So what they do is basically you can order from your favorite restaurants, and within an hour you will have it delivered to your house with a certain conveyance charge that the company charges. It currently operates in Bangalore and is across 9 product categories.
Yes, Kaushal, considering that it is one of the last mile convenience service which has been happening over here, considering that there are some of the restaurants still in India who can afford to have a delivery boy being managed by them. So it's a manpower for them also, and with such service in place, it brings in the product to your doorstep. imagine that it has huge potential to grow in near future, considering that it's been delivered under an arm, and we are a nation of young and energetic and who is not patient enough, and we need it now. So considering that the profile of the youth and the way we are growing, it is a good strategy put forward by Delivery.in, where which just looking at the logistics part of it, just concentrating only on that core idea of delivering something from point A to B. So that is something great of him, because I personally believe that this particular concept, when conceptualized or when kick-started, the initial cost of setup would have been much lesser compared to a person who's starting like an e-commerce website, where in which you need logistics, warehousing, and so on. So, but considering that one of the other aspect is that manpower, we need to make sure that the people who are in this particular business are consistent, because I still feel the getting delivery boys on board and training them itself is a big approach towards brand building. So I don't know how long they stay with this industry, considering the delivery job is a mediocre job. It all depends upon how efficiently they're doing it. The promise of under 1 hour delivery, that needs to be maintained. So that's a nice concept, I believe, going on.
Yeah, and it also speaks volumes about how things are going to get delivered now in the near future. Like say a place like KFC or McDonald's will always have an edge over, because they now have an online service where you can go order, get certain discounts when you use their online service, and they almost guarantee you the food within half an hour. And local players that might be having better food to offer are missing out highly, on large terms because of such things. And if you look into it, a lot of people in the neighborhood, or say typically in India, like to eat their local food, which these players were losing out. But I feel with certain companies like Deliver.in, I feel it's going to bridge the gap between the consumer and the service provider. Yes, there will always be the pros and cons that we can talk about, where training of logistics, like you said. But if you see nowadays, looking at how e-commerce companies are delivering, the amount of stuff that gets delivered day in and day out, and the number of logistic teams that they are hiring, I don't think it should be a problem, because there are n number of people, n number of e-commerce companies now operating in India with huge amount of logistics. Yes, there will be problems here and there, but if you have a fixed, good action plan, I think this would work really well for restaurants without online services.
Yeah, and I personally feel it's a small baby step put forward by those who missed out from the digital space. Though there are many traditional food boutique shops or restaurants which they might have not changed by time, but the food is still kick-ass. So that's something which if they could just concentrate on what they are specialized in, and delivery is being given to somebody else, that's something which so they're not missing out of the international competition, as you rightly said.
So I guess later on, these deliver guys, they might tie up with the hotels which don't have home delivery facilities, and maybe they'll do delivery for them,
Exactly,
like
because it's something like an outsource, where see, one of the core operations you're getting outsourced, you don't have to worry about it. They have a set of people who are actually concentrating only that particular job. So by doing such a thing, I personally feel it's a win-win situation for both. Yeah, so that's about Delivery.in. Moving on, we are going to discuss about another startup based out of Mumbai, which is the financial capital of India, in which there's a new website which has been launched recently, almost a year back, and it is called homesalon.com. So the very concept over here is that you can book your own personal stylist at your convenient time. So considering that we are racing ahead with a very young generation, and there are couples in India with both of them are earning but doesn't have the time, and this comes handy in the exact space of convenience. So what is it? It's basically that you can book your own stylist at your convenient time, and they will come to your doorstep and it does your hairstyling. It sounds like a good move, considering that I still find it that my haircut is due, but still I'm not able to find any salon which is open after 9 in the night, and I just have to wait for an off day so that I can go take my haircut. But this is a really novel idea, considering that a city like Mumbai, which is like, it's a live city, which is like 24/7, people are moving around, and they're clearly targeting the core audience, the people on the move who doesn't have time. This comes at a premium, definitely. But the beauty of it is that ever since it was launched, 70% of the customers are repeat customers, which is really good. They say that if you retain 20% of repeat customers, you get 80% of profits. So here we are talking about double of that at 70%. It's a good way to go ahead with it. One other bottlenecks which they're facing as of now is that getting their hair done over the weekends, and they have put a notice stating that they need to book 1 day in advance over the weekends. Weekdays they don't find it much of a rush, but weekends they're feeling it that more people, since like most of them are feeling it convenient. Maybe that might be another way forward, just like the delivery.in putting in convenience charge. Maybe they can put an extra charge for the servicing the clients. So these might be the venues where they make more money out of it, considering it's a novel concept which just recently started.
Yeah, I think it's like you exactly said, it's a very novel concept. And I'm actually, to get into this further, I'm not surprised actually that it popped out in Mumbai, because me personally, being born in Mumbai and spend a lot of time there, I understand the amount of traffic that is there in the country. I'm talking about people traveling every day, and it is not convenient to go to places, especially if it is a designer boutique or a place that is really known for good haircuts. It's hard to reach because of the traffic and the amount of time it would take you. And it just shows as to how now people are getting adjusted to the system and bending all the rules and things, and it's always been the customer is always a king. They always say that, but now it's just amazing to see how people are turning their entire co-business product and their system to make sure that the customer is happy at the end of the day, and providing convenience. Imagine getting a haircut. Say tomorrow I have a conference to attend and I need to get a haircut. I know for a fact that I don't have time to go for it tomorrow, but in fact I can have it booked tonight and get it done at my own convenience. So that's really amazing.
Yes, that's it about homesalon.com.
So moving on to the next topic is about a company called Zomato, which is an Indian-based restaurant discovery website which recently acquired Urban Spoon, a US-based restaurant discovery website. So Zomato was founded in 2008 by Deepinder Goyal, and since then it has moved on into 22 countries and has about 62.5 million users worldwide. And the funny part here is, since its inception and right now moving on to the new year 2015, it has managed to change its logo 4 times.
Yes, Kaushal, 4 times. That's actually quite a number of logo change in a span of 7 years.
Yeah.
So I clearly doesn't understand the concept behind changing their logo from the heart and fork logo to a logo which is more or less resemblance to Urban Spoon. If you look into all the acquisitions which they made in the previous years from country to country, the practice what they did is like they rebranded the entire their website with Zomato, and the user interface, which I personally feel is one of the best in the class in that particular restaurant discovery platform, and that has been adapted to all these regional websites. So, but unfortunately, that's not the case over here. When they got acquired by, Urban Spoon, we can see that the logo has been changed, but unfortunately, the user interface is same as Urban Spoon. So I would rather say like the company should have focused on a better user experience than rather than changing the logo, because like I don't know the crux of it, because like I personally feel a customer will get more adapted to the brand when he is offered a better solution or better interface. So interactions become much more lighter for him. Like his interaction becomes much more rich with a better UI, and maybe they should have done this practice later rather than bringing it all together in the, right now. And I personally feel the current logo looks very subtle compared to the young foodie logo which they had before. And I like the concept of the old logo, where in which it has a fork being poked into the heart. Basically, the passion for food is being represented from that particular icon. And of late, I came to know they actually did it from a brand consulting from Switzerland, which apparently might be like a place where you go for food, comparing and that has a youth centric feel to it also. But I clearly doesn't understand why a company like Zomato went ahead and changed its identity. I would rather request them to change the interface compared to logo unit.
Yeah, and the other thing is that the old logo, the one which you said that the fork was poking the heart. I mean, that was really good, and that was just being done a few months back. I mean, that was implemented a few months back, and now again, all of a sudden, they have changed their whole logo, just like Urban Spoon. So I thought Zomato actually acquired Urban Spoon, but this seems to me like Urban Spoon actually acquired Zomato.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like it looks like Urban Spoon have got into Zomato rather than the other way around. It's basically we are like a homegrown company from India and adopting these best practices across the globe, but you know what, I feel that we mimicked the Western world and brought in the culture over here. So
yeah, you rightly said that, Deepu. I really liked when you said it looks like Urban Sport has gotten into Zomato, because right now it looks like a sperm is racing into the Zomato's new logo. But it's quite funny replacing a fork with a spoon, and for what joy? I do not understand this entire concept. My problem here is I want to analyze as Deepender Goel, I must have spent a huge amount of money just to change a logo which was changed just 3 months back. And this is my personal experience. In fact, when I got the update on my phone, on my iOS, I have auto updates on, so it automatically updates my app without me going and updating myself. And when I was browsing through, I was shocked to see a new logo. In fact, I thought, I don't know how this app was downloaded, but when I got to know it was Zomato's new logo. And just, in 3 months, the logo being changed, it's quite funny. And the best part is I managed to look into Urban Spoon's website and look at the interface. And it's quite boring to tell you the least. I mean, expectations there are about 15 million users of Urban Spoon in the US, and having an interface that is not as interesting as the Zomato in India, which it has a lot to be measured and improved upon.
And if at all that was a concern that which app have popped up, at least this exercise would have restricted to only US market, considering that the merger and acquisition happened in the US. Maybe such kind of a logo integration would have happened in a later stage, where in which you should have started off with that spoon logo only for the US, not for the other part of the world, where they are already transited from the old logo to the new one, that heart and fork logo. Maybe they should have done that for only for US market to keep the sentiments on and make everybody happy. And why not? Like then later on, they could have, as you rightly said, they should have updated the new user interface and bring in another logo in the page, so that it's something like a holistic approach we bring into the brand rather than just changing the logo, which clearly disappoints me, because I personally am a Zomato fan. Like over the weekends, I just go in and check it, and I was quite proud about it, like an Indian company who have invested in more of a design, that the feel, the way it needs to access information. This is something great which they have done. And part of the success goes into that, the way they've curated the information, the way they put forward. And it's quite interesting that usually a design-centric website, usually you see it in the Western world, whereas in India it's more of like the functional website, you get in the basic stuff. But here's a young company, one young energetic company who have invested in design and user interface and have grown globally. It's a clear case study of a young company, how it acquired over 20 locations and being on top of the world. So that's it from us regarding this. So that's it. We are almost done for the topics for today. Before leaving this session, Kaushal will be giving us the tip of the day. So that's it from us regarding the topics for today. Before leaving the session, our founder and CEO, Mr. Suresh Babu, will be giving us tip of the week.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepu. This is not actually a tip. There are a couple of tools I would like to share. We've been doing a lot of research, right? When you start to do some research, one tool I would recommend is Think with Google. It's got a lot of research, country-wise, category-wise, industry-wise. So I use that for research. And another one is Google Display Planner. So if you want to get some stats on website traffic and unique page views, that is the tool. Thank you.